Hey stat students, this is the video that I told you I was going to finish. Sorry it took a while to get it on here, but and also I'm at home, so sorry for the inevitable interruption of my children. But on example 3, third hour, I didn't get a chance to finish writing it up, so you'll be able to see on the copy that I upload. We have to not only describe how it's different than the general population, but then what that means for an over or underestimate. So I'm putting that this proportion of people who prefer that name likely to be higher than the proportion of all the people in the population, in the British population, who would prefer the name. So I'm describing how it's an overestimate of a preference for Boaty McBoatface. So B is another one that we didn't get to. A farmer brings a juice company several crates of oranges each week, and a company inspector looks at 10 oranges from the top of each crate before deciding whether to buy all the oranges. So I'm wanting to know what sampling technique is being used here. Now, this is not voluntary response because it's not like there's just this open-ended survey and you can come take it if you want to. He's literally just looking at the top 10 oranges. So I'm going to point out that this is a convenience sample. That is definitely easier than actually making sure he represents everything. And here comes the first kid to interrupt me. Sorry, guys. What's up, buddy? Oh, that's Eloise. What's up?
Does that spell Reagan?
No, that's really close, though. I think you should just either erase it or write it underneath the correct way. Bring me a tiny piece of paper and I'll write it on that. And yeah. Okay, sorry. My kids are making crafts and need to know how to spell things. So anyway, this is a convenience sample. And here comes kid number 2. Yeah, guys, I'm trying to make a video for my class real quick. Did you finish tracing her name? That looks so good. She's going to be really happy, buddy.
I knew her name.
You did know her name. You're right. Okay, trying again. This is a convenience sample. They're only looking at the top 10 oranges. So to describe how this could lead to bias in my sampling, I need to describe how this sample could be different than the whole population, and then how that might be an underestimate or an overestimate of what I'm trying to measure. Guys, I'm trying to make a video. Can you guys? Okay. So it's REGHAN. So you were really close. Now go, please, because I'm trying to make a video for my class, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Bye, Mama.
Bye, gorgeous.
When will you be finished?
I don't know. Sooner if you go. Okay. I'm really sorry, guys, but I'm not going to start over. We're just going to plow through. This is a convenience sample, so I need to describe how this sample is probably going to be better than the rest of the oranges in the population that he's trying to sell. Partially because the farmer probably puts the good oranges on top, and partially if you were buried under a pile of oranges, you're going to get a little squished. And so the bottom population part would be... The bottom of our population is probably going to be lesser quality than the top. So I'm just going to point out the difference between my sample and the population. So the 10 selected oranges in the sample are likely, I don't know this for sure, but it's pretty... Buddy, you got to let me finish this video. I promise I'll help you make all kinds of things. I'll even get glitter out. I will let you use glitter if you go. Okay? Oh my goodness. They are likely to be higher quality, less squished, better than the rest of the crates. Because they're on top. So when I give you a question asking about bias, you get 1 point for this type of description. Not this exact description. There are lots of other reasons that you could probably think of for why the top could be different than the rest of them. So I'm just pointing out what is different about them. There's my 1 point. But I have to then describe how it's going to be an over or an underestimate of some capacity. So I'm going to put this could lead to the inspector overestimating how good all the oranges are. So if you only see good ones, you're going to think all of them are good. But you took a convenient sample, so it's not likely to be representative. The top are probably less squished. The farmer probably put the good ones on top. So not that exact description, but addressing those two things. So the last one, the ABC program Nightline once asked if the UN should continue to have its headquarters in the US. Viewers were invited to call one telephone number to respond yes and another to respond no. There is a charge for calling either number. More than 186 callers responded and 67% said no. So they don't think they should keep having their headquarters in the US. So I need to describe, first of all, what type of sample this is. And if you just have this phone number where people can choose to take part of this sample, this is, just like part A, a voluntary response sample. So that could lead to bias because you're only going to get the people calling who are really adamant and strong in their beliefs, and there's a charge for this. So how do I want to write this up? So I'm going to point out that the fact that there's a charge for this means you're probably going to not get a lot of people that live paycheck to paycheck. You're going to get a lot of people calling in that have disposable income. So I'm going to point out that I think my sample will be of a higher socioeconomic status than the general U.S. population. And since most of them are saying no, then maybe it's possible that that's an overestimate because it tends to be the richer somebody is, the more they tend to skew, how do I want to say this in a polite, PC way? They tend to want to, like, United States first. We don't need a UN. We don't need to, like, whatever. They tend to want just to put the US first. So maybe you're getting a population that, a sample that favors the UN going away more than the actual population would want that. So that was not very well described orally. Let's see if I can write it better. So voluntary response sample. I'm going to put, since there was a fee for participating, for calling, for voting, the sample is likely, I don't know, but they're likely to be wealthier than the population is. So I'm just going to note, if wealthier individuals, wealthier people are more likely to be nationalists, I'll put it that way, which means they, above all else, put the well-being of the nation first. Oh, here comes my next interruption. It's Mr. Dresch this time. Hey. Oh, you don't actually need me. I'm making a stats video. I know you don't. If wealthier people are more likely to be nationalists, then this could lead to an overestimate of the no response, or an underestimate of those who would say yes, keep it in the US. So again, it doesn't have to be the exact thing that I have, which is why this unit is also a reason I hate. It's a pain to grade. But you have to address the two things, like I keep saying, what makes this sample different than the population, and how could that possibly lead to an over and underestimate? Because addressing those things, recognizing issues with your samples, is definitely something that real life researchers have to address and should be taking into account.